Okay, everything you need to know about Bali dentists, doing your treatment in Bali, the good, the bad, the ugly. So we're going to go through that today. So by the end of this video, if you've been thinking about getting some dental treatment overseas and you want to do what we did, follow along. Make sure you follow along to the end of the video and I will give you all the nitty-gritty. The prices, I'll tell you about the treatments, I'll tell you about our experience, what happened to us, the quality of the products, how much money you save, the communication, the dentist credentials and everything else that you need to know. So follow along and I hope that this helps you make a decision if going overseas to Bali for dental treatment is the right thing for you to do. Okay, so welcome. We've just been to Bali, it was back in November now. We weren't Bali dental virgins, so I'd actually been, my husband and I went to Bali about 10 years ago it would be now, to go to the dentist over there, and we went to a different dentist that time and he was in Denpasar and everything went swimmingly well and that was great. And in fact the crown I got 10 years ago is still going strong. So this time around we thought, okay, well let's do a little bit of research. We'll have a look around because in Bali the prices can vary greatly. So there are a lot of dentists to choose from there. You can go to like a really flash dental surgery and it'll be absolutely beautiful, 5-star, but you will pay more. So it could be the difference between paying $500 for a crown as opposed to $280 a crown. So that's the decision that you have to make and doing your own research, messaging dentists, and they do understand your English. They they have a huge dental tourism population that go over there that do get dental work done. So you'll find that a lot of the dental surgeries do have quite fluent English. So that wasn't a problem. Most of them tend to like using WhatsApp now for communication. So it's very easy to get a dialogue going with dentists over there. My experience with the New Zealand and Australian dental system is fine. So, well, not really growing up, I've got to say. So it would have started, my first trip to the dental nurse clinic probably would have been 1979 maybe, or 90. So late 70s to early 80s when, I was at primary school and you'd get that call, you'd be sitting at your desk, Michelle, to the dental clinic. Oh, good God. So off you'd go to the dental clinic and they would drill the absolute shit out of your teeth and then give you some cotton wool bumblebee or something and off you went again. And that seemed to happen to me every time I got called to the dental clinic. And looking back now, I can't ever remember having a toothache. I don't know why I was going there, but the short and long of that is that all of my molars, bottom and top, were just full of amalgam fillings that were just like disintegrating over time. And I also had all of my front teeth were really, really small and kind of never grew, and they always looked like I still had my baby teeth. I just hated them with a vengeance, and I would hardly smile in a photo or, want to show my teeth because I was just like, they were horrible. And it was the one thing I really, really didn't like about myself. But anyway, apart from all of the back molars bottoming up needing to be replaced by crowns. So as time went along, I would go to dentists now over here in Australia, and you know, I had a couple of crowns done here in Australia, which were hugely expensive. And more recently, I went to the dentist here, and he quoted me nearly $2,000 for a crown, which he seemed to think was quite reasonable. And I just was having heart palpitations. And I thought, you know, for something that's the size of your little fingertip, I just couldn't justify paying $2,000 for that. So I just went, you know what, no, we're going back to Bali. We're going to go and have a little look and search around and see what we can get, which is what I did. So I started researching online, and I would have messaged at least half a dozen, if not more, dental surgeries over there, just to get things like, you know, your costs for certain things, time frames. We needed to know how long we would be over there for. So I started doing that and doing a bit of research, and then you get a feeling for where you think you want to go anyway, which is how we ended up. Now, this is not a video, it's not a video saying, look, don't get your dental work done in Australia or New Zealand either, by the way. It's just completely up to what you want to do, and how financial you are as well, and what you prefer. So for me now, knowing what we've done, we go to Bali anytime, hands down. So anyway, I started messaging a dentist over there called SDC, which is Shine Dental Care Bali. Because I'd got some prices off some other dentists, and they were a lot more expensive. And I just went, okay, and so booked appointments with SDC, and I'm not promoting this particular dental clinic either, by the way, because it's completely up to you to choose and go wherever you feel most comfortable. I felt comfortable with SDC. So, and both myself and my husband needed work doing. Phil had some recession going on in his lower teeth with his gums receding, so he needed work doing there and thought he needed a couple of fillings. I needed a whole lot. But anyway, we'll carry on. So SDC. Now, if you jump on to any of the Bali dentist websites, which you can Google up easily, and they'll have their WhatsApp details on there, and start messaging them. Now, what I did, so basically I took photos of open mouth situation, just drew on there little arrows and whatever, what I thought needed doing, because I had been to a dentist here in Australia who had told me what I did need doing. Which is another funny point, by the way, because I'd been to 2 dentists here in Australia and asked them if they could fix my tiny little front teeth that I had. And one dentist came up with a plan which sounded pretty out there, like, you know, I had to cut the gum back and do this and that and every other thing, and it was going to be about $11,000 just to do along my four front teeth, or across the 6, I can't remember what, but I just remember going, whoa, that's a lot of money. I hate my teeth, but I don't know if I hate them that much. Right, so we got a plan in place and an appointment date set. So I recommend you get all of that done first before you book your flights, because a lot of the dental clinics over there are quite busy. So you'll find that they're booked up well in advance. So you're probably much better off to get your appointments sorted, send them visuals of your mouth and explain what you think you need doing. And then once you've got that confirmed appointment, go ahead and jump on and book your flights. So obviously you're going to need passports, and you're going to need to do your visa and doodly-do. So everything that you would normally do when you go on a holiday and book your accommodation and whatever else. So we jumped on the plane, took off over there, all smooth sailing, no problems, had a lovely time in Bali in between our dental visits. Our first dental visit, because we didn't know where we were going, and we were actually staying in Sanua, and we had the dental clinic, SDC, is in Nusa Dua. Now Nusa Dua, maybe half an hour in the car from A to B, roughly. It didn't seem very long anyway. So SDC organised a driver for us, so it was so easy. So basically the driver picked us up outside our accommodation in a beautiful air-conditioned luxury car, took us directly to the clinic, whereupon I do have to say, because Phil, we pulled up and it was sort of down this, it was, how do I describe it? Because Bali can go from 5-star to very 2-star very quickly. It was sort of in more of a local area, and I would say this particular dental clinic would cater mainly to locals. I do believe, because I did check all their reviews, which is another thing I recommend you doing, even though sometimes reviews can't be 100% guaranteed upon either, because you don't know if they're fake or real. However, did all the research, checked out the reviews, we pulled up, the driver pulled us up, and it was sort of down like a little bit of a side street, tiny little alley, and there was a bit of litter out the front, and motorbikes zoom, 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 and it's all busy, and Phil's kind of looking at me going, and I'm going, don't worry about it, it's all going to be fine. So we get out of the car, open the sliding door, go inside to this little reception area, and that was great. And they were all lovely and very welcoming. So we were sitting there waiting for our turn, because we were both going to go in basically one after the other, which was going to work quite well. So in the end, Dr. Rialdi, which is our dentist, took us in together, and we all sat down and had a bit of a chat and a bit of a laugh, because we started talking about, what we thought we wanted done, and I sort of opened my mouth and showed him, and he just went, how long are you staying for? He was like, oh my God. So I thought that was kind of a bad sign. Anyway, we had a bit of a chuckle about that. And then he said to me, and it was like really bizarre, he goes, why you got gaps in your front teeth? I do really bad Balinese impersonations, by the way. Why your gaps? Because as well as my front teeth being like really little, there was like really big gaps between, the 4 teeth in the front. And I'm like, I don't know. The dentist over in Australia said they couldn't fix it. So just stayed how it was. He goes, no. We fix. We make beautiful. So I'm like, oh, rightio, okay. No, well, this is sounding pretty good, actually. So anyway, he got a schedule together for us, which basically was going to involve, I was getting a couple of fillings, I was having a couple of crowns, one bottom, one top, and he was going to do my 4 front teeth across the top as well, which were going to be composite veneers. Now, all of this, we were in Bali for only 2 weeks. And I did need more work done than that, and we are going back again. But you can only do so much work in that period of time, because, it's still quite tough on your mouth and quite tough on you when you've got all these injections going on and sort of the recovery, etc., etc. And Phil needed all of his bottom teeth to have composite veneers on them as well, so it was going to be a pretty lengthy job. And I think he had a couple of fillings as well from memory. Anyway, so we got the plan down pat, and away we went. So he started off the treatment. Now when we went into the surgery, you have to, and it was completely different looking to the outside, I've got to say. So very nice and clean inside. Fairly basic. It wasn't a 5-star Ritz, but it was clean. It looked hygienic. Very high tech equipment. But yeah, fairly basic. So they didn't get the chisel out, bang bang. It was all good. So we had to put on special shoes and had to put on one of those caps like you're going into surgery or whatever. Got in the chair, and because it's air conditioned in there, it's like really, really cold. I said, I'm a bit cold, and so they bought me a blanket. They constantly checked on me throughout the procedures. He was so gentle. I'm the sort of person that I have like serious PTSD from growing up with the dental nurses and the dentists that I had when I was young. So as soon as I normally get into that chair, my hands just start dripping with sweat, and I'm just like so tense. I hate it. Like it gives me, I'm so fearful of dentists. He was beautifully gentle. I cannot, even Phil said he's never had an experience like it. So it was so gentle, kind and reassuring. So when one of us was in the chair, the other one was out in the reception area. Now get this. Now normally, when I've been to the dentist in Australia or New Zealand, I feel like they see you as almost an inconvenience sometimes. Like you might want to discuss something, they haven't really got the time because they're being paid by the minute. And if you sit in that chair any longer and ask them any other questions about your teeth, it's going to cost you another $500. I didn't feel that at all at SDC. They made me feel comfortable. Like we had the time to discuss what we wanted to have happen to our teeth. He, told us and advised us of what he thought we needed to do. There was no pressure to take, more work on that we didn't really need. It was just a really easy and welcoming experience. And then, as I said, when one of us was in the chair, the other one was out there, and next minute this food arrives, and I'm going, I didn't order any food, because of course one person's in the chair and they might be in there for 2 or 3 hours, and then the other person's sitting out in reception, and they were just so lovely. They said, no, it's our hospitality. We feed you. We provide for you. It's Bali hospitality. I'm like, what? We didn't pay for that. It was probably added into the fee somewhere along the line, but the treatment was so well priced that I really couldn't see where the cost of that was. So, next minute this food arrives, and then the next time the treatment happened, they even asked us, what would you like us to bring you? What would you like to eat? I'm like, no, nothing. And they're like, no. And they went and got food anyway. And so your time, you were valued as a person, and the treatment was just out of this world. So, and in between time, you get to go back to your hotel, motel, guest house, whatever you've booked, and enjoy some Bali time with a bit of sunshine and swimming and everything else wonderful that goes along with it. So, getting down to the nitty gritty, it saved us a heap of money. A heap of money. I'm talking 1/3 of what it would have cost us to get that amount of work done in Australia. So, and we had a beautiful holiday. We had a lovely holiday at the same time. So, what's to complain? Does it carry risk? People always go, oh, it's risky, and you Google it up and they'll go, oh, it's risky to go overseas and get your dental work done and you've got no recourse and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Everything carries risk. You can go into an Australian dental surgery and not be happy and have them do nothing about it. So let's be honest. Hey, did we just get lucky? Who knows? I don't know, but plenty of people go over there and plenty of people are very happy. And I'm sure you get the odd story that they're not, and that could happen anywhere. The other question, poor workmanship. Oh, well, they must use inferior quality. Well, as I said, I've still got a crown up here that I got done 10 years ago, and I'm going, well, they're only meant to last up to 10 years and it's still going strong. I must be due to get a new one, but nothing's happened to it yet, but touch wood. So you get what you pay for. There's different levels of, you know, you can get composite veneers, you can get porcelain veneers, which are a higher quality and going to last longer. I chose to get composite veneers. I'm 100% comfortable with the fact that they're not going to last me forever and I'll have to get them redone. No problem. Why is it no problem? Because each tooth only cost me $80. Big deal. So that's fine. Crowns. There's different levels of crowns you can get as well. I chose to go with the cheaper option. $280 it cost me per crown. $280. I got quoted nearly $2,000 per crown in Australia. It's a no-brainer. Infection. The surgery was sparkling clean. I did not have any infection. There was no infection. Communication, as I said, they were so easy to communicate with. They were on the ball. The reception, the guy they had in reception, his English wasn't great, but geez, he tried. You know, and we had some funny laughs as we were trying to sort of communicate. But once you got into the surgery and the dentist understood every word you said, no problem at all. So, and it will vary greatly. As I said to you, we chose to go to a dentist that had better pricing. You may choose to go to one that is more geared towards tourists. You may, as I said, you may pay a bit more. English may be a little bit better, but hey, it gives you an excuse to learn some Bahasa Indonesian. Now, credentials. He's a dentist. He's done his qualification, he's done his training. Now, if you're needing specific procedures like you want implants or then you might choose to go to a dentist that's an oral surgeon, whatever they are, that have more qualifications in those areas. But I just needed basic dentistry, so quite happy with that. So, to break it down, now, travel costs, our trip cost. So we got some great airfares. We flew from Launceston to Bali via Melbourne. A return ticket cost us $1,068. Accommodation, 14 nights. And we stayed in a few different places because we got a scooter and tripped around and in between our dentist visits. And we made sure that every accommodation that we booked included breakfast. So we always got a really good brekkie to start the day as well. And for 14 nights, that cost us $740. Airport pickup. When you get to the airport, I don't even worry about like pre-booking somebody to pick you up, because if you load the Gojek app, G-O-J-E-K, Gojek, load that app on your phone, you can find a driver and they'll be there in a minute or two to pick you up and take you wherever you want to go. So we only used the dental surgery's driver the first time we went to the surgery because we didn't know where we were going and it was just easier. But the times after that, we just grabbed a Gojek and away we went. So, and it was probably like half the price using Gojek. They're so cheap. They're so cheap, you can go anywhere for a few bucks. Insurance, we got insurance, obviously. That was about $230. And then, of course, you've got to get your visas, which is about $100 to $150 for two of us. But getting to the nitty-gritty of the dental costs, and that's what everybody wants to know at the end of the day. So for our total, we spent $2,560 at the dentist. Now that was for both Phil and I. So all of the work that we had done combined. Now we got 5 crowns, 10 veneers. We got our teeth specially cleaned with this whiz bang machine. I don't know, but both of us got that done too. Several injections. And the injections, I think, were only like $20 each. It was like nothing. 2 fillings. So I had 2 fillings and they were $25 each. $25. Can you believe it? The crowns, as I said, were $280 each. The composite veneers were $80 each. I think that sort of covered it all. I think the cleaning was $50 each. Yeah, so that was it. So the whole trip in total, if you added everything that we spent, including our spending money, the whole works for the 2 weeks, it cost us around $5,000 in total. So if we'd got all of that dental work done in Australia, by my reckoning, that would have been about $15,000. And remembering we wouldn't have had a beautiful holiday and lots of memories that we can look back on of our beautiful trip to Bali, and we would be still $10,000 poorer. So my experience, love it. Can't wait to go back again. I mean, look, it's not exactly a fun time in the dentist chair, but I've had a lot worse times, let me tell you. And I'm more than happy to go back and sit in that chair again and get more work done. So next time round, so I've had the top done, I'm going to get the bottom done, even it all up, so it's all nice and bright and white. And hey, you honestly, in my estimation, you can't go wrong. So we can't wait to go back, go and get some more work done, go and have another wonderful holiday in Bali, get some sunshine, do some swimming, save a heck of a lot of money. And that's been our experience. So if you like what you've seen, make sure you subscribe and I'll fill you in on everything else that you need to know. Fantastic. Have a great day.